Satnam Aloha. So today's video, I want to talk about Neptune moving back into Pisces until January and preparing for the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So first I want to talk about the Solar Plexus Mutation. And this is what this Neptune is preparing us for. Right? So the Solar Plexus Mutation is the evolution of human awareness. So it's shifting from a mental awareness. This is like understanding through the mind, experiencing life through the mind. And the mind has led us for the last 400 years. And so a new consciousness is moving into the body. So this is our solar plexus. It's our emotional center. And it's mutating from a motor, your emotional waves, right? From a motor to an awareness system. So this is a big deal. So every wave of emotion that you're experiencing right now is training your nervous system for this upgrade. Okay? So from late 2025 through 2027, the entire emotional system of the species is being recoded, right? It's being recoded. So this started with Pluto moving into the 60, right? Pluto moved into it's in the 60 now, but it moved into the 41st gate, right? So this is the pressure to evolve. So remember that Pluto is in the 60th gate, the shadow of limitation, right? I did a whole video on this if you want to go watch my previous videos. And then it's moving into the 41st gate, and that's December 6th. And this is the start codon, right? If we go to the Mandela, right? That there we have Aquarius. Right now it's in Capricorn. So Pluto is in the cusp, right? So human design, there's certain gates that are cusps, like they're half Capricorn, half Aquarius in this case, as it goes up the lines, right? So 60.6, it's in Aquarius, but it still is the 60th gate. So it has a little bit of a Capricorn flavor to it too. And then it moves into the 41st gate. That's the start codon. That begins the whole new cycle. So this is a major deal. And so if we go back here, so the whole emotional system is being recoded. And Neptune is part of this, right? It's part of this recoding. And it's dissolving into the gate 25. It's in the gate 25 right now, Neptune. Okay, and the conjunction with Saturn-Neptune is going to take place in the 25th gate as well. So this is converging all of the Neptune, Saturn, all these big planets that are going through, like ingressing into new signs. They're going to be going into a more masculine sign, zodiac sign. So next year is about action. It's about taking action. But first we need to let go. Right? This is what Neptune is telling us. It's a deep, deep let go right now. So you may be feeling that yourself with this. As soon as Neptune went into Pisces, I so felt it. It's like spacey, right? Neptune was in Aries for a while in March, right? March. Moved into Aries and was like, yeah, let's go, yeah, go. Green lights everywhere. And then as soon as it went into Pisces, it's like everything just stopped, right? So you can feel kind of spacey, like you're reorienting yourself. You're not remembering things. You're getting all spaced out, ungrounded. That's because we're now in water, right? Pisces is water, water, water. We moved from Aries into water. And this is the last deep cleansing, the deep cleansing of the collective unconscious of humanity. So this is coming. This is a big part of the end of the cross of planning, right? The 400-year era that we're leaving and moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So we can feel this emotionally. You may be feeling this emotionally, maybe sleeping more. I've noticed that I've slept more in the last couple days. That's normal. And take note of your dreams. Your dreams can be quite potent and communicative right now, and it's deep, right? And we're in a Scorpio party now, so we're out of the fluffy Libra season, right? Let's just be on the surface. Let's just dwell on the surface for a while. Scorpio is like, no, Scorpio doesn't have time for that. Scorpio is, let's go deep, go deep or go home. So this is an opportunity now until December is until January really, is to really go deep and be cleansing your unconscious. So I'll teach you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that. So stick with the video. So what it can feel like, the solar plexus mutation, and if you've been following the three eye atlas, the third eye atlas, you know that it's been causing a lot of solar activity. It's been behind the sun. I'm going to do another video on three eye atlas. And if you want to watch my other video, I did a video on three eye atlas with the discovery chart. So to learn more about that from the human design perspective. I'm just thinking of something. Maybe I'll wait to share that. Well, maybe I won't. So remember the three eye atlas video. If you watch that, it activated the sun, the discovery. Like if you imagine three eye atlas is like an entity, like a person, then the imprint chart I did for that, calculated for that, the sun was in the 39. It was discovered in July, so it was in the 39th gate. And this was all about provoking. It's provoking something. It's provoking the spirit of humanity. It's provoking our spirit. And why am I saying this? Oh, I know. Later in the video, see, I'm so in this Neptune energy right now. I'm like all over the place, but I have my slides, so I want to stay in order, and I'm just going to trust that everybody's just going to follow the wave that I'm on right now, because I talked about the Saturn Neptune conjunction in 1989, Saturn Neptune conjunction that happened in 1989 in the sign of Capricorn, which is all about the father. So the father, a lot of Pluto Scorpio women in the Pluto and Scorpio in general, men and women, father MIA, right? Father left, father wasn't present, something around the father, and that's a symptom, an indication of that archetype of Neptune and Saturn conjunct in Neptune, right? Neptune dissolves in Capricorn. Anyway, why I'm saying that is because in terms of the conjunction, that was the 38th gate, right? And the 38 and the 39, these are programming partners. Every one of the 64 gates has a programming partner. They work together. So the 38, it activated that conjunction. And this is struggle. It's part of the channel of struggle. The 38-28 is struggling for meaning. Anyway, well, stick with me because I'll go a little bit more into depth about that and why I'm bringing that up, because it's coming to a culmination point for February 20th. This is when Saturn and Neptune are in 0 degrees Aries. That's like a whole new cycle, a reboot for humanity. It's the rebirth of the masculine, right? The father, the real father. Not your earthly father. Okay, so what it can feel like with the solar plexus mutation for you is like anxiety, experiencing anxiety, like your heart's racing, you're not even exercising or anything like that, or you don't really have any, like a heart condition or anything, but your heart will start racing. You can't turn off your mind, just this anxiety. You can't tolerate small talk anymore. Not for very long. You may pretend to be a surface dweller, right? But it doesn't last very long. Your emotions can be intense. They can come in waves. The emotions, like really, really strong and intense, and then completely flat. So that can happen. And what you thought you wanted before, like your dreams before, maybe even 5 years ago, everything just feels like it's suspended. You're lost. Like that's a big word for Neptune. It's just you're lost. And this is part of the solar plexus mutation. So these are nervous system recalibrations. So your nervous system can feel like it's fried, right? It's fried all the time. You can't handle the loud noises, the loud people that are uncontained energetically. They have no energy manners. Like you can feel like darts are coming at you. Can't handle the loud, boisterous sounds, things like that. That's your nervous system is recalibrating. And this is for this solar plexus mutation. Because you need to learn how to bring more light in with the solar plexus mutation. And so the vagus, right? The vagus nerve tone, the gut solar plexus interface, parasympathetic rhythms, they're all shifting from fight or flight, or freeze or fawn, into coherence, right? Into frequency resonance. So we're moving out of that old system. So this is part of also the solar plexus mutation that's starting to wake up. This is our second brain. It's our second brain is coming online. Okay. And then let's go into the next thing. Okay. So what I also wanted to remind you of, the Solar Plexus online retreat is November 21st to 23rd. Those are the core dates, but it's actually 14 days. 14 days long that you're in the energy construct. And this you'll be learning a lot more about what the Solar Plexus online retreat is about. You'll have meditations, exercises, tools for you, because this is really an opportunity right now, right? November 21st to the 23rd, you're in that energy. And so that you'll be prepared for February 20th. And then January 22nd is the Human Design New Year. So you'll be all set to move forward, because this is going to get more and more intense. So if you're feeling it, your body will let you know. You don't need to decide to go to the retreat with your mind. Your body will let you know. Your body, you'll have some kind of a reaction right now. Solar Plexus Mutation online retreat. And as a projector, I'm inviting you, right? I'm inviting you to the Solar Plexus online retreat. And if your navel is saying yes, 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 then you need to attend, right? You need to attend. So keep that in mind. I have got more information on my website about this online retreat. So Kundalini Yoga and meditation, and lots of teachings I'm going to do on the online retreat, and then exercises, and then lots more surprises, lots more downloads are coming to me. Okay. So let's do, so we'll go through Neptune. I got to keep myself on track here. Okay. So maybe you've seen this stuff on astrology. So this is human design. So I'm kind of mix human design and astrology together, because I find they go really well together, for me anyway. So this is the Mandela, right? So it takes the sun, right? The sun, our solar sun, it takes 365 days to move around the solar, Mandela. So you can see it goes through all the gates, and everything new starts at that 41, and then it moves around. So depending on the orbit. So we've got Neptune, and Neptune takes 165 years. to move through all these gates and all these zodiac signs. So it can sit in one gate 3 years or a little bit, depending on, if it goes retrograde and how long. So it really writes the myth of a generation that through you. So you won't see the end of the story because, right, we don't live to 165 yet anyway. I feel like we will in the future. So in terms of the ancestral line, this represents the grandmother. So if you go and get your natal chart, right? And if you don't have your natal chart, go into my information box and scroll down, and you'll see get your free chart. And then look at your Neptune, and that's about your grandmother, right? So there's a deep genetic memory there, the ocean that you were born from. And you'll notice with your grandmother or your grandparents in general, there'll be more of a frequency resonance with your grandparents. If that was the case for me, for my grandparents, they were deeply, deeply spiritual. My parents weren't at all. And I resonated more with my grandparents. I got along with them a lot better than my actual parents. And you may find that yourself, that you get along with your grandparents, or they're special to you in some sense. Well, go look at your Neptune and the gate it's in. Maybe leave it below in the comment box. So when these planets go direct, Neptune goes direct, it's going to represent people. And did I write down? I don't think I wrote down the date. Maybe I'll put it in the comment box later when Neptune goes direct, or maybe somebody else can put it in the information box for me. So when Neptune is in retrograde now, but it's going to go direct. And I thought it was December, but don't quote me on that. That's when we'll start to see this energy being manifested in a person or a situation or event, this Neptunian energy. So Neptune in your chart, so you want to look at where Neptune is in your chart. That's where things are veiled. There's a veil. Neptune is a veil. So the veil clouds and fogs over the gate and channel that it touches. So if you try to lift the veil, you tumble into a Pandora's box of confusion, addiction, and glamour. So the best thing to do with Neptune is leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't try to figure it out. And don't pay attention to it, because the big word that I'm going to be talking about is surrender, right? And you let the surrender and the magic arrive on its own timing. Neptune's about divine timing. It's very spiritual. This planet, the higher octave of Neptune, right? The lower octave, of course, is escapism and addictions, but the higher octave is like oneness, right? Also, Neptune tests your relationship to truth. It tests your relationship with truth, the capital T, truth. So if you've in the Neptunian energy, and we're all feeling it now, this is like the last degree of Pisces. This is a critical degree. We're never going to see this in our lifetime ever again, right? It's going to start this whole 165-year cycle again. So this is a big deal. So if you try to figure this out, right, try to figure things out with your mind right now, it's you're just going to be met with fog and glamour and smoke and mirrors. There's a reason why this is happening, and it has to do with the solar plexus mutation. So the truth reveals itself, and maybe you're in a situation right now, you're in a relationship, or you're in a career, or you're in between worlds. You can sense the new timeline is here, but it hasn't manifested yet. You're unsure, you're uncertain about making any decisions. You have to trust in Neptune, and that's trusting in divine timing, that the truth will reveal itself in time. So that's the relationship to truth. Truth is not something you figure out with the mind. right? With facts and figures and pros and cons list. Truth is a frequency that reveals itself when you let go. And clarity comes, and clarity comes. Okay. So there's a deep genetic, there's something here, back to the grandmother. There's something here for you to claim. You know, we talk a lot about ancestral, generational wounding and trauma that we've inherited from our ancestors, but we also forget about the gifts. So there's a powerful gift for you to claim from your grandmother at this time. So go to your chart, find what gate it is and what line it's in. Okay. So in Neptune, in Pisces, so Neptune's completing Pisces, and it's it's joining up with Saturn in the 25 and the 25th gate there in line 3. So this is the veil is going to shift. The veil is shifting from seeking purity. Remember with the cross of planning, this is a lock. It's called a lock, the 25th. The lock stays the same, but the keys are changing. So the new key to open this up is something completely different. So this is about seeking spirit, and Neptune is there. So you're not going to be able to go to the ayahuasca ceremony in plant medicine. You're not going to be able to go to a workshop or take some kind of online course, and I'm going to seek my spirit, right? I'm going to create the conditions so that I can meet my spirit. No, Neptune is there. It's veiled. The more you try, and try, I mean using external methods, like external to you, rather than just go inside, right? Go inside. People are seeking their spirit out here. It's somewhere out here. It's with a guru. It's with a spiritual teacher. It's with some gadget, some healing gadget that I'm going to use. No, it's about going inside. That's where you're going to find your spirit. And that's what Neptune is pointing us towards now. Right? Stop trying to figure things out with the mind. Stop trying to hustle and hassle. Right? Go inside. Go inside. So this is what is happening here with the conjunction, because when that conjunction comes, we're really going to feel it in February 20th when Saturn and Neptune come together for the big reset, because it's action time. It's fire. We're back in fire. And what does this mean? It says, stop seeking. Stop seeking. Stop trying to purify yourself on fasts and parasite cleanses and cutting cords and reading more and doing past life regression, right? Saturn and Neptune says, stop it already. It's time now to be the embodiment of that. Be the embodiment of this innocence, this purity. This is what we're all after, but we outsource this. We put people on pedestals. Well, they know something more than me, right? They're pure, they're innocent, they have all this wisdom. It's like, no, it's time to be the embodiment now. So it's really about letting go of perfectionism during this transit, trying to be good enough, pure enough, right? Obsessive cleansing, like I talked about, and detoxing. I got to raise my vibration, all the ways I raise my vibration, right? Policing thoughts and emotions. I shouldn't feel anger. I shouldn't feel lustful. I should, not. And rejecting anything messy, right? And we're messy. Humans are messy. We're not perfect, right? In that sense of the word, right? We're up and down. We're all over the place. That's what it means to be a human. I shouldn't feel angry. Spiritual person shouldn't feel angry, right? This is the role. It's like playing the role of a spiritual person. I got to look like I have it all together, And it's not real. And then, oh, I can't go out because I'm low vibe, right? That's this. This is a solar plexus mutation. It's the AI Atlas is provoking your spirit, and provoking the spirit means poking at those unintegrated emotions. So you're going to be down some days, but you need to remember the mantra. I love this mantra. I want to get it tattooed on my arm. This too shall pass. So if you're in a low vibe, no high vibes coming, right? It's just not identifying with low vibe or high vibe, just letting the wave move. That means the solar plexus mutation is working, right? So you want to let go of this old cross of planning way of doing spirituality, which is, it's an illusion, right? You're letting go of illusions with Neptune. Since 2011, that's when Neptune went into Pisces. So you've been in a 14-year cycle. You're letting this go, right? This old illusion that if I'm spotless, I have no flaws, there's nothing wrong with me, right? According to the mind and the ego, I'll be worthy of spirit. The other thing is rejecting your body or your emotions, rejecting your emotions. I'm not going there. I'm above that. Right? This is the work. Do you indulge in your emotions? No, you just feel them. That's all you have to do is feel them. So escaping your pain through constant meditation or astral practices, you can do that, like escaping. That's called spiritual bypassing. Over-identifying with the light while shaming your sexuality or your instinct. Labeling grief, jealousy, and fear as unspiritual. And so the old illusion you're letting go of is purity means untouched by emotions. I'm not emotional. And there's a big stigma about this, right? I'm not emotional. It's emotional means to be hysterical, things like that. It's learning how to be the alchemist. You're the alchemist, and your content, your lead is your emotions, and all you do is feel them. You don't indulge them, you just feel them. Let them come. Sweep as you go. That's what I say, sweep as you go. The emotion comes up from the solar plexus mutation, you just feel it, and then it transmutes into awareness. More and more of your awareness comes through. So not to be avoiding this or running away, especially from the triggers. People are going to come, that 39, people are going to come in your life and they're going to trigger you. And it's like you have a cup of coffee. You have a cup of coffee. Somebody bangs into you. Does tea come out of that coffee? Does bourbon or whiskey or beer come out of that cup? No, coffee does. It's the same with you. When you get triggered, what's going to come out is something that's unintegrated in you. So don't be running away from triggers and thinking you're going to control, right? Neptune is like let go of any part of you that feels that they can have any control right now. Neptune is teaching you that you have no control. It's time to surrender. And the part of you that thinks you have control is an identity that has to go. And we're going to talk about that too later in the video. Okay, escaping through the mind, trying to understand spirituality and what you're going through the mind. And that's when you become a robot, an automaton, NPC. There's no juice, right? There's no juice. There's no aliveness in you when you go into your head and you turn into data, like from Star Trek, right? An NPC. No, there's no juice. You're a head on a stick. That's all you are. And remember, I talk about this in my other videos. Life supports life. Life's not going to support you if you're a head on a stick and you're just in your mind and you're in control of your body and you're in control of your emotions. You won't be supported. Life supports life. And life means that you embrace, you surrender to life, to whatever is going on inside you. You're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of the demons and the shadows coming up within you because you're the alchemist. You can deal with this. That's why you're here. Right? And if you're listening to my video, you're on my fractal. And if you don't like the sound of my voice and it's like, this guy, he's so obnoxious and I can't stand listening to him, you're not on my fractal. Like, go away. Right? Go away. But if you like the sound of my voice and something is getting charged within you right now, and your nervous system is getting activated, then you're on my fractal. And it means you're here to help people move through this time. We're going through a huge transition right now. All of humanity is. Right? So you're probably one of these helper bees. So it's time to embrace. And remember, you can, if you're a healer or teacher or life coach out there, right? You can only help people to the depth that you've gone. If you're a surface dweller, you're only going to help people to that level. But if you've gone to the depths of hell within your own self and come up and emerged as the phoenix, then they'll be chasing you. They'll be like banging down your door, like, come out. You need to help me get through this time, right? So that's you. If you're on my fractal, that's you. You're helping people to move through their shadows and their fears, and right, and all this stuff that we've been conditioned to be afraid of. You're not afraid if you're on my fractal. So just keep that in mind. So no escaping through the mind. The mind is not your friend during this time. Your mind is not your friend because we're moving from a mental awareness system. This is the evolution, right? And people like to put the mind up on a pedestal. We've done that for the last 400 years. Granted, it's done a good job for humanity, but now it's beyond its pay grade. All this information that's coming in, like not even like intellectual information and knowledge, but I'm talking about like spiritual information that's coming in, evolutionary information that's coming in. The mind can't handle it, but the solar plexus can. The solar plexus can handle this information. That's your new authority. Right? Is this feeling? It's feeling. Learning the language of the solar plexus. And I'll be talking about that during the retreat too. Because the mind actually is the slowest when it's faced with a problem or a challenge. The mind is slow. It's very, very slow. But your emotional self, your spiritual self, your intuition is the fastest. That's the fastest. The mind takes a while to catch up. So it's time to stop putting your mind on a pedestal, moving the authority to the body. Move your authority now to the body, and this is what you can trust, right now. Okay, so no more escaping through the mind, no more like high vibe only. I'm only in the high vibe, positive thinking, even though I feel like crap, I'm going to just talk myself out of what's going on in my body and my solar plexus. No, your mind can't talk you out of that. That's called gaslighting yourself. Also trying to cleanse lineage or karma instead of living it, right? So this is like the past life regression. I'm going to go to the past, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, deal with the life that you got right now. That's what's real. What's now in the present now moment. And this is like believing that peace will come because we want peace. Peace will come when I do this, then peace will come. It's like what's it called? Next consciousness. The consciousness of next. It's always somewhere out there in the future, right? Peace is here now. In this present now moment, no matter what's going on in your life, peace is there when you're with your soul, your authenticity. So this is like, I've got to fix my past. This could be like, I have to fix my family. I have to fix my relationships. And then, right? It's destination consciousness. That's what the word I was looking for. Destination consciousness. It's always somewhere else, right? So fixing the past, no, there's no power in the past for you. All your power now is in the present now moment. The other thing is perfectionism in your service or your creation. Well, I can't share my creation. I can't share my art until it's perfect, until it's completely flawless. I can't offer something that my soul is like, people need this. People need this. They want this from you. No, I can. I've got to perfect it. I need to go and get a bunch of letters behind my name before I can offer something now. Right? Until I'm perfect. So this is the old illusion of the cross of planning with this 25th gate, is the divine only moves through me if I'm pure, So it's letting go of this, right? Of this shadow, and this is the shadow of constriction. Okay. And then, what did I want to go over next? Okay. So this is the, so you can see the solar plexus here. Let's get a better view. So there's the solar plexus, and there's all the gates. And look at all those gates. Maybe you have a couple of these gates in your chart. Check it out. Well, you can see most of them are Pisces, aren't they? There's the 36, the 22, the 37, and the 55 are all Pisces. There's one other Pisces, and it's up in the head. It's 63 up here in I call them the crazy gates. The 63 is up here in the crown chakra. And then Aquarius is 49 and 30. And then Virgo is 6. But you can see a lot of Pisces action here in the solar plexus. So Neptune moved through Pisces. So that means it moved through all of these gates. You see? It started with the 30, because that's the cusp. And then the 55, the 37, the 63, the 22, the 36. And this happened in 2011. And maybe a lot's happened for you since 2011. You want to reflect on that. What was I learning about spirituality and surrender and fantasy? What was I learning then? Right? Well, this is coming to a close. So this is the part of the consciousness. This cycle here through Pisces is about a part of your consciousness that wants to feel in order to know. This is humanity. This is what we're going through with the solar plexus mutation. The part of the consciousness of humanity that's ready to feel instead in order to know. So it's no longer knowing through the mind, it's knowing through frequency. Solar plexus mutation is about frequency, right? In order to know. So you can imagine how quick this is going to start to happen. Now you may say, but no, I heard that if you've got a defined solar plexus, there's no truth in the now. That's true. If you have a solar plexus colored in your chart, that means your authority is immediately your solar plexus. And that means there's no truth in the now, because your emotional wave, it's not personal. No personal whatsoever. Your wave may be up where you're feeling, yeah, like life's great. I'm like overflowing with happiness and joy. Or I'm in the pits. I'm down in the dungeon, right? Everything's horrible. Everything's dark. Well, there's no truth in the now, because the wave's not true, because the wave's always moving, right? So if you're up on your wave, then everything's great, right? There could be the rottenest person in the world come to you and ask you for $100. It's like, oh, I'm going to give this person $100 because I feel so good, right? And then they just run off. You never see them again, right? Or you're in the low end of your wave, and who shows up? Your twin flame shows up. Let's say your twin flame, your divine counterpart shows up, but you're in the pits. You can't even see. You can't. All you're doing is projecting their shadow on them. They're making me feel this horrible. Get out of my life. Go, go. Right? There's no truth in the now. You don't see the truth. So that's why you wait till your wave is clear, especially if it's defined. Well, this is changing, right? That 55th gate, that's going to be the first one to go, right? To be mutated. And remember, Neptune's touched these. Most of these gates, Neptune has already started the process of the mutation, the dissolution, right, of the shadows within these gates, because it's changing and shifting for the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So this means the wave will come neutral. Just neutral. It won't be up and down. I'm going to love when that happens. I have the 3955, right? So that comes to a still point. So that means truth will be able to discern truth, feel truth faster, more efficiently. We can trust it, right? And the babies that are born after 2027, they'll already have this mutation here. But there's bridge people. Last video I talked about bridge people. If you're on my fractal, you're a bridge person. You're a bridge person. So this is going through a lot, right? So you have to take care of your solar plexus, nurture it, which I'll be talking about during the retreat. So it's to feel. That's your knowing. It's to feel. And it's really quick. Something doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Do you see how you can't get in arguments with people? Maybe you've got a karmic in your life that's gets you in your head. He's like an expert, or she's an expert arguer, right? She's like, would make an amazing lawyer, can talk you out of everything, right? Gets you, hooks you in to the mind. You can't beat them, right? They're masters with the intellect, right? Is it true? No, it's not true with the mind. You can never find truth with the mind. Truth is a frequency, but there you are. No, this doesn't feel right. Maybe they're lying to you, right? They're having an affair. They're cheating on you. They got all these reasons why they're not around and why they smell funny, things like that. When you start to believe them, no. When you're in your solar plexus, all you have to say is, this doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel truthful, right? And they can go arguing and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, something's off. I feel like something's off, right? Do you know this? There's the power of this. It's very efficient, but you have to stay in your body. You have to be in the center of your body so that you can claim this gift. This is the new cross of sleeping phoenix. That's why I want you now to start aligning yourself with this new consciousness so you don't get the tsunami of energy coming at you, right? Where it's going to be more and more difficult to shift gears. Start shifting gears now into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So you won't need certainty. You won't need the story, right? This is you becoming transparent to life with the solar plexus mutation, and Neptune is helped here. So the solar plexus is I don't want to go there. Okay, I'll just mention a few things. I don't want this video getting super long. You know, we talk about ego, right? Ego. So we have many, 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 many egos. Many, many egos. And this is the not self. This is the not self, right? All these egos. So there's a mental ego that's created with your mind. They're like the guardians of thoughts, and they're your conditioned beliefs that you have about the world. And right, and how you see the world. This is they control that ego. We control thought patterns and beliefs, but they're all shaped around your conditioning. So that's not self. And then you've got the body ego, the body even has the ego. That's like you're listening to me right now, and your body ego will send you messages like, "I'm hungry," right? Or I want a cup of tea, or I want a snack, right? That's your body ego. That's the body ego. And so the body ego acts on instinctual defense or pleasure. So it's looking for pleasure, avoid pain, seek pleasure. In control, right? So it's like it's protecting the body. You can say that in that sense. And then there's and it can also be influenced by parasites. You probably know this. Parasites, the body ego feeds on that. The ego loves that. So craving foods that aren't good for you, or foods that you're allergic to. But then there's the emotional ego. There's the emotional ego. And that governs reactive patterns, your reactions to life. So this would be desire, it would be fear, it would be jealousy and pride, but it's anchored in the solar plexus itself, this ego, right? This not self. Well, this is going through a huge mutation. So this is dissolving, right? That the emotional ego is dissolving during this time. And what doesn't dissolve like magically I wake up and then it's all gone. The dissolution process is you attracting people in your life that provoke this ego. So the ego can come out, and then you see it. You feel what comes up, and then that's how it dissolves. You see? So you're not passive. This isn't like you're just a jellyfish and everything's going to just happen and I don't have to participate in my life. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so this is losing control, right? So this emotional ego is losing control. Okay. There's lots more to say about that, but we don't want to get I don't want you to get too confused here. Okay. We talked about that when it goes direct. And then I wanted to talk about this. So let's go just quickly here. You can always get a screen grab too here. So there's Neptune. Our planet Neptune. And so it takes 165 years for Neptune to spin around the sun. So if we look back, Neptune was discovered in 1846. So what was happening there? Well, it was in this gate. So the discovery chart of Neptune is the 30th gate up here off the solar plexus, right? So that was desire, the desire, gate of desire. So this is when things got ignited, right? Because on the other side is the 41, the star codon. 30 gives the desire. So this was the emotional, starting up the car, right? Starting up the solar plexus. And this is when we saw spiritualism, we saw seances, theosophy, romanticism, photography, Neptune roots photography, dream psychology, right? Analyzing dreams. This is desire. So humanity began to feel the invisible world again. Before then, not so much. I'm generally speaking about the collective, the zeitgeist of that time, right? So that ushered in this. And then 1880 to 1925, this was the Industrial Revolution meets occult revival. So means science and mysticism merged. Science and mysticism. So with Einstein, Freud, Jung. So this is the birth of film and radio. Neptune teaches the power of illusion here with the first film and radio. This was the Surrealist movement, Salvador Dali, right? Painting from their dreams. The theme is the mind questioned what's reality. And imagination became mass medium, right? Neptune's all about imagination, making images. And then 1925 to 1960, we saw world wars, World War I, World War II. And this was trauma, humanitarian response, the start of the United Nations, collective pain, global empathy, psychology, and therapy expand. And remember, the United Nations started on a good foot at that time, this seed, and then it got corrupted as a lot of the institutions got corrupted, right, with the cross of planning. Anyway, we saw the beat poets, abstract art, and dissolving old meanings of life. And the theme from this time was suffering opens the heart. And then 1960 to 2011, this was the 1960s counterculture, the New Age movement, digital revolution, dissolution of boundaries through music, psychedelics, the internet, emotional freedom explored through art, sexuality, and spirituality. And the theme was from idealism to disillusionment to awakening, right? The 1960s was very idealistic, disillusionment, and then to awakening. So this is very, very condensed, right? I could elaborate more on this, but I don't want this so long here. Okay. So since 2012, or 2011, we saw a surge of spirituality, meditation, astrology. Astrology really took off during that time. Esoteric studies moved more into the mainstream. And hidden or occult teachings became widely accessible through social media. You can get everything. Back before the Piscean age, it was that you had to work. You had to hustle to find any kind of spiritual knowledge. You had to go, serve a guru, clean their house for a couple of years, and maybe they give you a mantra or kriya to do, right? It was like everything, occult, hidden. And everything that was hidden is now visible. And the internet is a perfect example of that. You can find anything on the internet. So there was more tolerance since 2011, more inclusivity, like this inclusive, more like fluidity. We've seen that too with gender fluidity too, non-binary. That's all part of this, Neptune and Pisces. Pisces blurs all boundaries. And then the information, right? The information flood and confusion. So this is the collective mind became porous, right? There's no boundaries with Neptune and Pisces. So no boundaries between fact and feeling and fiction. No, it's all dissolved. So this opened the field for algorithm, right? Algorithm, hypnosis, social media is the new mass stream machine, Instagram, right? That's scroll down, right? You're seeing all the dreams, how the people live their lives, right? Instagram, and it's with the filters and everything. Also, plastic surgery too, the onslaught of that. The glamoring in the fog, you can't see. Does that person really look like that? Or do they have a filter on them? And that would be AI too. Political narrative wars, like truth turned into a matter of perception, right? Lies and deceit, that's Neptune, right? The lower octave of Neptune. Controlling the perception of others through deceptive means, right? That would be an example of this. Emotional contagion, people reacting to their unintegrated emotions. We see this on social media or even the thumbnails on YouTube, which are hilarious. That's why I don't like to use humans on my thumbnails anymore. I just want to clear. I want people to recognize, oh, there's clarity here, right? With the thumbnails, like the shock look, it's all about hooking your emotions, or doing clickbait, right? With the titles they use on some of this. You can see this out in the YouTube world, right? And it's what it's doing. It's hooking your unintegrated emotions. You remember, you got your cup of coffee, you got your cup of anger inside you, and then that triggers it, right? These YouTube clickbait videos. And then the propaganda. Neptune was the propaganda age. And this is like humanity entered an ocean, because Neptune's like an ocean, where every current carried an agenda, and the only compass you had was your own inner resonance. So this is what we're learning through Neptune. It's like, what's the truth? Remember, truth is a frequency. I listen to the words. I listen to the frequency. Does that resonate with me or not? Does it resonate as truth? That's your inner compass. So you're not hooked, right? You do your inner work. You do your inner emotional work, your inner child work, your shadow work. You don't get hooked in, right? You're clear, right? You have a clear channel for truth or not. And it's with you. You don't need a lie detector. You just need your own channel of truth. And that comes with being authentic. Every time you're misfakery and wearing a mask and trying to pretend that you're someone you're not, you're out of integrity, and that means you're not in touch with that channel of truth. You can be manipulated really, really easily. And with Neptune, it's super easy, Neptune and Pisces, to manipulate others. So Neptune just didn't blur reality. It exposed how reality itself can be manufactured through emotions. And this is the rage baiting that I talked about, right? The clickbaits that are used, how reality can be just manufactured through the manipulation of the mind and the emotions. So with Neptune returning into the 25th gate, right now, you're learning discernment, right? That's the channel of truth. So this is the solar plexus awareness that feels truth directly, right? Rather than believing what's the hypnosis is out, hypnotic, right? The whole internet, our whole reality is hypnotic right now. This is the Piscean trance. It's a trance. We're all under a spell, right? So you get to feel the truth directly. That's the solar plexus, your solar plexus mutation. Okay. So the shadow expressions of Pisces can be spiritual bypassing. I'm all light, love and light. I'm chasing love and light. Avoiding pain, avoiding discipline, any kind of discipline. And discipline, it comes from the root word disciple. Discipline is that container. That's the divine masculine energy, right? It's the container, right? And I'm going to show you why people avoid any kind of discipline. They fear being controlled. It's not about control. It's about setting a container for yourself. That's the shadow of Neptune. I don't want any discipline. I just want to float, right? I want to be in the flow. I want to float. Escapism, addiction to fantasy, social media, and substances, right? Like the opiate crisis, we saw that. Victim mentality, putting people who have the best victim story, put them up on a pedestal, right? That's the shadow of Neptune Pisces. And then dependency. Remember, the cross of sleeping phoenix is about mutating that shadow of codependency. So this is over-dependency on governments. We saw since 2012, handouts, savior narratives, right? Something out there is going to save us. Some galactic ET is going to come and save us all. Some political figure is going to save us. Some spiritual figure will come down and save us. That's this Neptune shadow. Loss of boundaries, like social media, over immersion, oversharing, right? People on Instagram taking pictures of their dinner, their sandwich. They've got to document everything, right? It's oversharing. That's like there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries. Confusion between compassion and enabling. So being compassionate and enabling, and that's enabling that victim for that person to stay in their victim story. That's called enabling. It's not compassionate. That's another video. Okay. What else did I want to say? So 2026, when we move into the new cycle, in 2026, when Neptune moves into Aries again with Saturn, we're going to be moving out of passivity into action. And then we've got Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, right? All of them in the Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini, and then Neptune and Aries. This is the collective focus on personal responsibility, discipline, education, and initiative. It's action. It's all about action. So this is going to, the next decades will emphasize learning to regulate imagination and turn inspiration into creation rather than escapism. So Neptune in Pisces opened humanity's heart, but blurred its mind. So it opened the heart, but blurred its mind. So we touched unity, but we also drowned it in illusion. We're a lot more connected now, especially through the internet since 2011. A lot more connected. So now as the cycle ends, we have to stay compassionate. We need to have our hearts open, but we need to lose our passivity. And now it's time to be the embodiment, right? And take action. So you can see there's where the gates, right? So it's in 2011 to 2026, moved from 30, which desire. So it was like about feeling fully. I'm going to feel fully without any attachment. I don't need to own whatever ever that is out there. That's the ego. I need to own this. No, it's about feeling fully, no attachment. 55 is freedom, surrendering to your moods. Remember your waves up and down, you're surrendering to them. And this brings you to spirit, Family, the 37, you're redefining your tribal roles, what it means to be a daughter, what it means to be a mother, what it means to be a sister, what it means to be a wife. Neptune touched on all of these as a gate theme. 63, and you may think, well, nothing really happened in these departments. No, Neptune touched these gates. So it's like the slow, right? The water seeping to the very, very bottom for the cleansing, right? Slowly going down. And it's working. The mutation is working on humanity. The 63, doubt, right? And trust. This was about trusting your inner knowing. 22, grace. This is the refinement of your aura. This is about your aura opening up. This is comes from the channel of openness. Your aura opening up to divine energies and refinement of your aura, which means you become more subtle to energy and frequency. Neptune touched that. Neptune touched 36. That's crises. And this is compassion through loss. 36, right, is about loss, your crisis, losing something. And then 25, it lands on spirit. It's in there now. And this is innocence embodied. You're embodying your innocence. You're not outsourcing it, right? Okay. Let me see here. So we also saw back to 2026. the surgeons of transformational festivals. Saw a lot of those, and that was like part of this theme. Plant medicine we saw twin flames. The phenomenon of twin flames really start to come online during this time. The blurring of boundaries, right? The pandemic, purification, whenever you think of that brought us together too as a humanity. So we all had this shared experience together. So Neptune is rediscovering its discovery gates while humanity confronts collective loss and rebirth, right? And that's the big loss of humanity. We lost the world. We lost the world. Our world's not going to return back to pre-2019 or go back to 2010, 2009, right? We're in a new world. We're in the unknown. That's Neptune. So there's a loss, a collective loss. Okay. So the theme right here is emotion becomes awareness. Emotion becomes awareness. So you know this. I talked about this. You do emotional work, right? You feel, you accept first your emotions, whatever they are. These are your unintegrated emotions from the past. You feel them. You alchemize them. They'll clear through crying, tears, shaking in your body, right? And then what comes after that is a greater expanse of awareness. That's how it's turning, the mutation, right? It's turning into this awareness system. Okay. And let's go to slide 6. And how are we for time? I forgot what time I came on here. Okay. Okay, this is the conjunction I alluded to at the beginning. In the 80s. And this is Dad is MIA. So Saturn, Neptune conjunction in Capricorn, right? And this is the father, law, structure, authority. It's the status quo. So Neptune in Capricorn, and you may have been born in this energy, right? The 80s, no, Pluto Scorpios. So Neptune in Capricorn dissolved these structures. So this was seeded. This was seeded in the 80s. So together they created the generation that sees through false authority, right? The Pluto and Scorpios, they see through false authority. And this is why the baby boomers, there's the big fight between the baby boomers and the millennials. The millennials are calling the baby boomers out on their, I don't want to get into the fight, but you know what I mean? There's a fight going on. And it's basically the baby boomers are, shut up and get a job. And why are you whining and complaining, right? I bought a house, way back when for $20,000, like, right, I just worked for it. You just got to work for it, that kind of thing. And the millennials are like, no, they're seeing through that. They see through that. And this comes from this conjunction. They're not just going to shut up and do what authority tells them to do because they can see through it. Remember, Pluto Scorpio is about power. They can see the misuse of power. They've come from lifetimes and lifetimes of this misuse of power. So this is so you're able to penetrate what's hidden. Penetrate what's hidden, the underworld of power, shame, and control. So the wound here with Neptune, Saturn conjunction is how do I have reverence for authority, right? Knowing that all old authority is collapsing, the cross of planning, that old authority construct was built on fear and control, and that's collapsing. So this is the father wound. That's totally the father wound. And so this is the outer father, if we look at it metaphorically, are the institutions, the patriarchal systems. Your literal father are failing to embody integrity. They fail to embody integrity, and they're not embodying integrity now. So the inner father, your inner father, because we all have the Trinity, no matter what form you were born into, you have an inner father, inner mother, inner divine child, your inner child. So the inner father is reborn as a conscious self-authority and devotion to the truth, but disciplined. So this is the misuse of, this is the root of your mistrust. It comes from this conjunction because you're missing something. But the higher octave of it is you become your own inner father. You become your own self-authority. But it's not, you're not obeying your ego. And that's where you can get trapped. You're obeying your soul. So, so if the father lies, so what I see out in the world here, just with people that I've worked with, was where can create a psychic split is if the father lied, if your actual father lied, and just bailed, MIA, and is not present whatsoever, it creates a psychic split, right? So you transpose, it's the word, you transpose your relationship with your father into the relationship with the divine. So it's like, well, if my father lied, then, the divine's going to lie too. Or my father wasn't there for me, so the divine's not going to be there for me, right? If I surrender, right? If I surrender, I'll be controlled. If I surrender to the divine, I'll be controlled. So I'll only surrender a little bit, not like a lot. If I trust in the divine, I'll be betrayed. If I pray, no one's listening. So look at what the main trait with your father is, and then look at your relationship with the divine, and that's where you're blocked. So this is why the solar plexus, your emotional ego, became overdeveloped. Your emotional ego became overdeveloped because of this father wound, right? So if it's replaced, you want to, it replaced divine trust with self-protection. It's like, I'm not going to open up my heart. I'm not going to allow love to penetrate me. I'm not going to allow that divine love in whatsoever, because it will bring up that original wound of when you were betrayed and your heart was broken by your earthly father, right? So the ego, this emotional ego, becomes your own authority because the outer one failed, right? So that emotional ego is defensive, has walls up, right? Doesn't let anybody in, that emotional ego. So the mutation's purpose, the solar plexus mutation, is that you're rewiring your authority. That's also what's happening to you, divine feminine. It's being rewired. So this means that you're moving from a hierarchy, right? Well, authority means that they're above me and I'm below them. That's old cross the planning stuff. And now you're moving into more of a relationship, right? You're on equal ground, right? Does it mean you're perfectly equal in every way? No, but you're on the same ground. It's not up or down. You're right. You're on the same ground. So it's no longer God's above me, the divine's above me, and I'm below. It's about presence. Divine presence is within me. Divine presence is within me. So the new awareness doesn't obey. This is not about obeying, right? When this new solar plexus awareness comes in, it's more, it resonates with me. This frequency resonates with me. I feel like at home when I feel it, right? It doesn't follow orders. It listens to frequency, your solar plexus mutation, when it comes online. And so that's divine authority in its purest form. It's not imposed on you. It's felt. It's felt. That's that 55th gate. right? You're feeling it. The divine is a feeling. And the gift beyond the wound, the gift beyond your wound with your father is mistrust of authority. When purified, becomes discernment. And that's the solar plexus awakening. The divine isn't a father who tells me what to do. It's the frequency of truth that lives in my body. I don't have to do things to prove that I'm worthy to the divine, right? I don't have to earn my love from the divine, basically, right? It's like, no, the truth of the divine lives within me here. So the false father is dying, right? Not the divine, but the false god. The false god is dying. The one that's about control, right? Because that's what you're fearing, is being controlled. And it comes from this father wound. What's being born is your own inner authority, the quiet knowing that your feeling body is the voice of the divine, your solar plexus, right? So it's not up in your mind. This is about trusting your body, and let it dissolve. Let that part of you that's afraid of intimacy, that's afraid to being seen in your authenticity, afraid of being seen in your vulnerability, afraid of being seen in your transparency, right? And what will come up is that ego, that emotional ego will start to come up. And then a lot of sadness and grief will come up with that too. And you just feel it. And that's the work. That's all the work you have to do for the solar plexus mutation here. Okay. And let's go to surrender, okay, versus passivity. So this came to me today. What's the difference, right, between surrender and passivity? So this is counterfeit, right? Passivity. This is counterfeit. Surrender. So this is like the ego. You can see the wolf in sheep clothing here. The ego puts on white robes and says, look, I'm surrendered now. Someone come and save me. That's passivity here. Or my ego is going to save me. My emotional ego is going to save me. And I'm just going to do what my emotional ego is defensive, and that person's toxic and I can't have them in my life because they're triggering something in me, and I'm angry because they're making me angry, right? This would be the emotional ego. It's like, no, you had a cup of anger in your cup and that person just banged into you, and out comes the anger that's already been in you way before you ever met them. This is how the emotional ego works. Right? Ego is not your friend. Ego is not your friend. So this is counterfeit surrender. So in true surrender, so I'll look surrendered because it's an identity, right? Ego is identity. So I identify as the strong one. Everyone else is emotional, right? They're losing it. They can't handle life. Right? They're sensitive little wallflowers. They're crying all the time. They just, right? That's the projection. And this is like, if I look surrendered, then life will go my way. That's not surrender. That's not surrender. I create my reality. You hear all these, the false light teaching. I create my reality. I manifest my partner. I. That's this. That's the ego. Neptune is like, no more games. Right? It's like you're at the beach and a tsunami wave's coming at you. And you think the ego thinks it's going to control that wave. No. True surrender is I have no way left. I run out of moves. I got no moves, right? Maybe with money, right? You've run out of money. Your rent is due in 2 days. You've got no job. You've got nothing. There's nothing around you, right? Surrender is I got no more moves left. I got nobody to call. I got no strategy. I got nothing. That's surrender. You're surrendering the way. You're completely surrendering it, right? Giving it to the divine. And only the way itself remains. All I have right now is the present now moment and my breath. That's all I have now, right? I've got no more moves. And the ego's got tons of moves, right? But now with Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, it's running out of moves. So passivity, right? This is the false surrender, is bargaining. It's still control. There's still control, right? Because the ego wants control. There's still control there, right? True surrender, there's no control. It's still bargaining with the divine. If I stay soft enough, if I'm a good girl, right? If I sacrifice myself for my family, if I sacrifice myself for my karmic relationship, right? You're bargaining with the divine. You're trying to keep holding on to this identity. But I'm a good person, right? I'm a spiritual person. Look at all the stuff I'm doing, right? You're saying to the divine, let it go my way. Let things go my way. If I look good, right, in my service, right? I'm totally sacrificing. I have no needs. Look, I'm selfless. That's still the ego. That's still the ego. I'm doing good work in the world, right? Well, that's different than surrender. Surrender is like what remains after the bargaining, right? This is like run out of moves, right? I've done this. Played the role of a good person. Still, the money's not coming. Still, things aren't working out for me, right? So what remains is surrender after that, right? And what will come up is anger. They'll be angry at the divine. Why aren't you supporting me? Why isn't things going my way? I'm a good person. I'm earning, right? I'm spiritual, right? And that's this ego that's hiding, this emotional ego. This is the last one to go. One of the last ones to go with the rebel. The rebel, I think, is the last one. But this is a little bit rebellious too here. Okay. So the surrender isn't about lying down and giving up, with your white flag and I just give up. It's about falling open. It's not about falling down, it's falling open. It's like opening yourself up to the divine. I'm opening. Take it all. Take this identity. I give it all to you. You're completely open. Your heart's open, right? And in your innocence, that I'm a child of God, right? This is the only identity I have left. I'm a child of God. I've got no other strategies. I've got no other moves, right? You open yourself up. You open yourself up, right? And then the miracle happens. But the miracle's not going to happen when this ego is here because this is not self, right? This is not self. So this is you, like you're the swimmer that's stopped kicking and the ocean takes over the breath, right? And the moment when you realize, I don't float the water floats me. The water floats me, right? So this is the ego death that Neptune's asking each one of us now. It's really about this ego death. No savior fantasy. Your karmic relationship's not going to save you, right? Your money's not going to save you. Your career is not going to save you. Something in the future is not going to come down and save you. The aliens aren't going to save you. The ascended masters aren't going to save you. Jesus isn't going to save you, right? This is about letting go of the fantasies, right? The white hats aren't going to come down and save you either, right? So there's no bypassing. There's no bypassing here. So you want to just quiet the power of being carried by something vast, right? Something vast, something bigger than you, more powerful than you, right? This is like you're surrendering to that and letting life, right? Like letting life flood in. Because right now with the ego, the emotional ego, you've got the wall up. You're not allowing yourself to be penetrated. You're here to be penetrated by the divine, right? This is true intimacy. Not penetrated by another person, you're penetrated by the divine. That's what you're opening yourself up to. And a lot of fear will come up. And that's this emotional ego, right? And the original betrayal goes back to your childhood. Okay, and so this is like your proof, right? When you completely surrender, you're going to be the proof that the current can be trusted. You can trust it. And you can't conceptualize it. It can't stay in the head. It has to come from experience, your own direct experience. Like I can't come in and do the work for you. No one could come in and do the work for me. I had to have the direct experience. So Neptune is giving you this opportunity now, whatever you're being called to surrender, where you're gripping to control, where you have to let go, right? Where you have to let go. And that's so that you can have the experience of being held by the divine, being held by that ocean of the divine, right? And not slipping back into this false surrender. Well, I'm in control, right? No, it's about letting go. It's letting go now. And this is part of the solar plexus mutation here. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too is this. So this is you. You're out in the ocean and you're going to float. You're floating on the ocean. Are you passive? No. This is surrender. You're completely surrendering. You're surrendering your identity as the one that's in control, the one that's doing everything, the doer, right? We live in a cult of productivity. We worship productivity and doing and being busy, right? You're surrendering that doer. You're surrendering the doer because that's the not self. You're not doing anything, right? So this is the ultimate surrender, imagining yourself in the ocean here. And so this is the death sequence of the ego, and it goes with the death sequence of Kubler-Ross. You probably know her work, right? So first comes denial. Denial, let me know what stage you're in. Denial, and remember, it's not a one-time thing, but you're listening to this, so a major emotional ego needs to be dissolved with Neptune going back into Pisces. So denial is like we pretend everything's okay and we keep swimming in that same direction, right? We pretend it's okay. The relationship's still going. The karmic relationship dissolved. The contract dissolved long ago. You're barely alive in the relationship, right? But I'm just going to keep swimming in this direction. That's the denial. I'm going to keep going in this direction, even though I can't stand this job that I'm in this career. It's okay. I'm getting that paycheck every 2 weeks, right? That's the denial. Keep going, and I'm in charge. I'm in control. This is the process. Still doing the old way, right? Still doing the old way. And then comes anger, number 2. And this is when you're thrashing at the current, right? The current's trying to take you to your soul purpose. The current is trying to take you to your happiness and your joy, but you're fighting against it, right? You're fighting the current. You're thrashing at it. You're angry at it. Damn it, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make this relationship work, right? I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm going to get angry, right? I'm angry about this. And then bargaining, the third, which you talked about, right? This is the light and love phase. The ego dressing up resistance as surrender, right? Well, if I just do this, or if I just do that, this is you bargaining with the divine so you can keep swimming in that same direction. And then this could be the impulse to run out and save everybody, right? This is the savior, ego, right? That's the final disguise. I'm going to run out and save everybody else. I'm going to go and sacrifice myself for everybody else. Yeah. This is the shadow of service. This is the slavadar. You know the slavadars? It's not really selfless service. It's the ego pretending to serve, to get something back. I want to keep this identity alive, so I'm going to bargain, right? I'm going to bargain with the divine. So this is, but Neptune doesn't negotiate, right? It doesn't negotiate. And the next phase, so you're not going to get far with the divine. Divine's not going to listen to this bargaining. It's not going to listen to this ego. It's going to, right? Because it's aligned with your soul's destiny, not your ego's destiny, which is death and dissolution, right? It's aligned with your soul. This current is aligned with your soul. Where is this current taking you? This is what you have to surrender to now. So the next stage is grief, right? And this is finally, the emotions have come up. They felt. There's no getting around it with the divine. This is not working, right? And then grief comes, and this is the sobbing, right? This is the sobbing late at night, right? And that's this identity. The old identity is gone, right? This is what cleanses, right? This is what cleanses that ego. Dissolves the ego, dissolves your not self. This isn't you. This is not you. And maybe there's a part of you that's listening right now, and it's you, but I'm talking to your soul. You know this as a soul. This identity is not me. I know this now. Well, you've got to grieve it. You have to grieve that identity because it's a death, right? This is part of the death process. And then finally, acceptance. Finally, acceptance. You get to acceptance. And this is when you just relax and you let go and you surrender, right? You surrender. And you just go where life is taking you, where that current is taking you, Neptune and Pisces. The last time you'll experience this in your life, right? This is like you dissolved the jaggedy parts of your ego are softening now. Now you're aligned, right? Now you're aligned. So the body relaxes, your breath returns, you're breathing deep, you're at peace. That's another thing that comes too after an ego death is like an incredible sense of peace and contentment and belonging, that sense of belonging. I belong, right? I'm part of this unity. Neptune and Pisces, right? So you're not going to be swimming around. When you're in this state, you're not going to be swimming around trying to rescue people that are drowning. No, you want to hold up your peace, right? Keep your peace. You need your peace and your authenticity during this time. Okay. So, and then, what else do I want to say? So Neptune's ocean, if we look at Neptune's ocean, it's preparing the nervous system of humanity. It's dissolving the mind's armor, so the heart can hear. So the solar plexus mutation isn't something that we think ourselves into. It's something that we feel ourselves into. Right? And this is what's blocking you, is this ego, emotional ego. And the only preparation, if you were to do anything, right, is surrender. Is surrender. It's about being, and let the tide teach you how to breathe. Let the tide teach you how to breathe, right? Just stay relaxed and trust and trust. Okay. Oh. And then I like the, I love the tarot. And this is probably the card from the Major Arcana, number 12, that really captures the image of surrender beyond the woman on the ocean floating. And this is the Hanged Man. Okay, the Hanged Man here. So he's inverted on the cross, right? He's on a cross. And so this is about the crucifixion. You can see it as a crucifixion, which is a transmutation of the ego, right? So the crucifixion is internal. So the personality, right? The ego is being hung upside down so that the spirit can reclaim its throne, right? So the cross was never punishment. What you're going through, maybe you're going through what I'm talking about, the dark night of the ego. It's not punishment. It's alignment. You're coming into alignment with heaven in your body, right? You're bringing more and more spirit into your physical form. So this is about the state of ego suspension that precedes enlightenment. Because look at the halo around his head, right, of the Hanged Man. So this comes before illumination. And so this is so God can come through, right? And it's giving you a new perspective on your life. You're having a spiritual perspective on your life. So the shadow can be confusion when you're in this state, confusion, your victim story, martyr complex. The gift is surrender, changing your perception. And then the city is union, seen with the eye of the heart. Not with your two eyes, which is duality, but the eye of your heart, seen. That's compassion. So this is the crucifixion of the emotional ego. Right? So this is the death of the emotional ego infrastructure that lives in your solar plexus. So this allows the solar plexus to recalibrate so that it's no longer a motor of reaction, or the reactions that I talked about, but a receiver of truth. Your solar plexus becomes a receiver of truth, capital T, truth. So the hanging is your nervous system pause. Your nervous system is pausing between fight, right, and flow, So it hurts because the ego interprets the stillness as death. But it's the body is learning. Your nervous system is learning to host divinity, host more and more light without defense. So more and more light is trying to come through. But your nervous system is on edge. No, I can't handle this much light, right? And then the emotional ego is up, defensive, and projecting left and right. So the mantra here is I stop struggling to breathe. I become breath itself. I stop fighting. I finally surrender. So after suspension, right? What comes after, right, is the sun and the world, your judgment, right? All those beautiful cards come after this Hangman. But the new consciousness returns to life radiant, but impersonal. So what was crucified here is really the illusion that you had a separate will. This is the alignment, right, to the divine will, It's the 40th gate. And what resurrects is pure presence, pure presence. Okay, so this is about in daily life, delays, reversals, loss of control. These are opportunities for you to perceive it differently. So whatever, 111, look at that. Whatever is happening in your life, a traffic jam, let's go mundane, money not coming through, something not coming through. This is your opportunity to see differently, see it differently. What is the divine showing me? Right? That I'm trying to swim upstream. I'm trying to swim somewhere that my ego wants me to go, not my soul. Right? So especially now, you want to align yourself with divine will and float. Float in the ocean right now till December or January when Neptune gets out of Pisces. This is an opportunity. The last time for 165 years, Neptune will be in Pisces. It's been in there since 2011. What have you been learning since 2011 about your spiritual path? Okay. So this is in relationships. This is where your illusions start to drop. The way that you saw your karmic partner, your dreams of that relationship and where you would be, and that all that fantasy just falls away, right? Your job and career, place of living, that all falls away. The illusions start to dissolve. The fog starts to lift and you see things in truth. Right? That's what this is saying. And then when Neptune and Saturn come into Aries in February, it's go time. It's real. It's real. So you need to, right? These illusions have to fall away because they're not real. They're not aligned with your soul. And this identity has to go. Right? It has to go. Okay. So the next thing I want to say is, remember, we're doing everything solar plexi on this retreat, and it's November 21st to the 23rd. We're going to be talking all about this solar plexus mutation and meditations and yoga and exercises and lots of teachings about this and what this is bringing for the future. And real tools, real practical tools that you can use. So check out my website to learn more about that and listen to your body. How is your body reacting to this? How does my body feel when I read this on Michael's website, Neutrino Astrology website? Because your body will let you know. Okay, so let's do a quick fractal read here. I hope you can see that okay. Let me just magnify this a bit better. How's that? That looks good, eh? I got to use a better resolution, I think. Okay. So what part of Neptune, so what part of you, Divine Feminine on my fractal, that was my prayer before these cards flung out. What part of you is Neptune asking to dissolve? The Two of Swords reversed and the Devil reversed. So the false peace that comes from suppressing yourself, not speaking your truth, right? These cards are saying to let that go. This means the collective is dropping the mask of neutrality that hides fear, guilt, or addiction, right? So this is a mask that everything's okay, right? I'm keeping my emotions at bay, that this is what I have to do for the peace. I completely silence myself, basically, to keep it all together. And so the ego is cracking here. The ego is cracking. And this is not making a choice. Two of Swords is I refuse to make a choice. I'm at a standstill. Right? With this shadow, the devil reverse can be fear, and it's bondage. And bondage, I'm not choosing. I'm hoping that this is the swimming, the denial. Right? I'm just going to keep swimming in this direction. Right? But it's doing something to you. It's exhausting you. Your body is showing you that, right? That you're swimming upstream. So you want to release the illusion of control that's disguised as calm. You're controlling your emotions. You're controlling your authenticity. And you're pretending that you're calm and peaceful, and you're not. It's a big fat lie. Right? This is what these cards are saying. So Neptune has said, dissolve, let go of this control, get messy, right? If that's what's authentic, then that's what has power, not you being all fake and pretending that you're all calm and chill, and you're not. You're completely in control, trying to control everything. Where are you still swimming with all your clothes on? Right? You're not letting go. You got all your clothes on in the water. You're trying to carry all the stuff from your past that Neptune wants to let go of. The Queen of Wands, Miss Fakery in this position, right? So this is carrying the weight that you have to shine, and you have to perform, and you have to look like everything is together, and you've got this image of happiness, and it's not true. It's all fake. You're pretending. You're completely pretending. Or you're carrying the weight. You're holding the confidence for other people. Well, I have to look like I have it all together. I'm a teacher. I'm a healer. So I got to put on this Queen of Wands mask, and it's not authentic to me. That's your ego telling you this, your emotional ego. So this is the spiritual performer. Right? The spiritual performer. So you want to let your power be warmth and not armor. This is an armor that you're wearing. It's like, no, I've got to play this role. I can't look messy, but it's not authentic, right? You're putting a mask over your authenticity. So this is your radiance doesn't need a rehearsal. It's not about a performance. Right? It's not about playing a role here. So there's a lot of fakery going on here in these cards. I don't know. Maybe it's resonating with you who's watching. Maybe it's not. These are the cards that came out. So what does true surrender look like and feel like right now? This is the Ten of Cups. So it's emotional union without possession. So true surrender is not losing love. It's realizing love is what remains when striving ends. Right? So you're just letting go. Right? You're letting go in your relationships. So the ocean carries you in a field of shared joy where there's nothing needs to be earned. Right? You don't need to earn love anymore. Love is just there, or it's not. It's not. That's what surrender is for you right now. So you want to breathe into your belly until you feel connection instead of effort. Right? So how does your body feel right now? Right? Breathing into your belly. Right? Where you feel connected to yourself and to the divine. So be aware of that in your relationships. And then what illusion are you ready to forgive yourself for believing? The Nine of Wands reversed and the Ten of Swords. So this is the illusion that vigilance keeps you safe. You're always on your guard. That will keep you safe. Emotional ego here. The belief that suffering proves devotion. Well, I've suffered in this relationship, so it means I'm really devoted to them. I'm really loyal to them. Look how much I've suffered, and I still stuck by them. Right? This is what you're ready to let go of. This is false. Love is not suffering. It's not about suffering and sacrificing for another person. So this is the ego's martyr program. It's collapsing. The end of I must keep fighting. I have to keep 9 of Wands, right? Reverse. I have to keep fighting for this relationship. That means I love them. No, it's ego. That's not love. That's your ego. Forgiveness here is a deep rest. It's like letting the war end. Let the battle end. Right? Let this end. No more fighting. So you forgive yourself for making endurance, for enduring this, for putting up with this for so long. You want to forgive yourself for this instead of just having faith, let go, surrender in the ocean. If that relationship is meant to be, it will be. If it's not, it will just fall away. And I think you know that, right? That's why you won't let go. Because often when we have an ego death, that identity that dies is connected to that karmic relationship. And there's just nothing there, and you know that, right? So what new emotional intelligence is awakening through this letting go? The wheel of fortune. This is letting the wheel move. This is soul purpose. This is your destiny. This is synchronicity replacing control. All these cards are about control. This is about letting go of control, letting synchronicity start to work in your life, letting yourself be held by the ocean. So feeling becomes navigation, right? Timing, divine timing becomes your teacher. This is the solar plexus beginning to sense when and with whom your energy flows. It's the mutation in motion. And it's upright. It's not down. It's upright. So this is trust where the current is taking you. And each shift in rhythm is divine choreography. You don't need to control. You don't need to strategize. Just let go. Just let go. Surrender. How can you model trust in the divine current for others? There's that hangman again. Hangman reversed and the 10 of Pentacles. By choosing perspective over paralysis. I'm not freezing, right? The fight, flight, or freeze thing. I'm not freezing here. I'm not going into paralysis. And that's the anxiety, right? The procrastination. Right? Analysis, pros and cons list. If I do that, blah, 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 it just paralyzes you here. So you're choosing perspective, a new perspective. You want to start to look at yourself as a great soul. Elevate up, up, up. You're in the little village now, right? You're with all the little villagers there. You want to go up in the mountain, up at the tippy top of the mountain, and you want to sit there. And then you want to look down at your life, have a new perspective, and see yourself as a soul that's incarnated in this lifetime, who's incarnated in past lifetimes. What, right? And what are you learning as a soul? Not as a person, not as an identity, an ego identity, but as a soul. So hangman is like get up into a new perspective on your life. So when you release the need to appear enlightened, right, that you've got it all together, where you appear that you're abundant and right, this is right, and that you're stable. So what you'll do is you're going to model this for others to take a new perspective when I surrender, and then abundance comes to me. 10 of Pentacles, right? All the things that I've wanted, a legacy in my career, right? The right fractal in my life. You're going to model that when you stop and pause, right? And take a new perspective here. So prosperity is not what you hold. Prosperity is not your money in your bank account. It's not something you hold. It's not something tangible. It flows through you. That's what this is showing you. That prosperity just flows through me when I surrender. And what guidance is Neptune placing in your hands? And we've got the Five of Swords reversed, the Three of Cups reversed, and the Eight of Wands. So this is releasing comparison, to stop comparing yourself to others, stop being competitive, rivalry, right, with others, group conformity, stop conforming to the group, clears the channel for rapid transmission, right? Lot of energy moving here with the Eight of Wands. So the Neptune is handing you, when you surrender, is handing you the archetype of the truth bearer, who unites through frequency, not ideology. Oh, we all think alike, right? That's groupthink. We all think alike, and we've all had like these experiences together, and we see life the same way. No, that's a false fractal. It's frequency, right? How do I feel in my body when I'm with these people? Am I lit up? Am I lit up? Is there a frequency moving through me of truth? Can I be my authentic self? Can I speak differently than the groupthink that's going on, right? So that once you let this go, then the energy starts to really move forward. Eight of Wands is very quick energy. So it's about frequency, not about ideology. Your ideology will come and go, right? It's the mind. The mind is fickle, but your authenticity doesn't come and go, right? Your truth doesn't come and go. It's all, your capital T truth, your Satnam, does not come and go. It's always there. So speak what moves through you. Don't be censoring, right? Trying to be perfect with your words, trying to appear clever to this false fractal. They'll accept me if I'm clever and I can wax poetic on this and that. It's like, no, that's fake. There's so much fake energy here. You want to speak what's true in the moment, right? You're not worried about them and how they'll take it and experience you, because you'll get to the truth. You'll find out who they really are when you start to speak your truth authentically and in the moment. So speak what's coming. My sense is that something needs to be expressed through you, and you're trying to block it, right? Okay, so this is a liberation from bondage. Divine Feminine, a clarity of feeling and an embodiment of flow. So the emotional ego is dying. It's all over this. This is like the eulogy, right here of this emotional ego. It's dying, but love moves faster. Love will move much faster when this armor, when this emotional ego, this armor and defense patterns you have here falls away. Okay. And let's go for the twin flames. Twin flames. Okay, I want to get this a little bit larger. Okay. So the twin flames. Twin flames. And twin flames, I mean, they've got to learn about surrender, don't they? If you're if you're on the twin flame path, you know what I'm talking about. And you can see Neptune in the 25th gate, Neptune in Pisces has really helped with that, hasn't it? And like I said at the beginning of the video, twin flames really came in vogue when Neptune went into Pisces, right? And it's all about ego death and the twin flame. If you take anything away from a twin flame teaching, it's all about ego death and realization of your soul. Right? That's the game to play. Okay. So where does the divine feminine? Where do you stand now? You've got the Tower reversed and the Emperor card. So this is good. Tower reverse means the collapse has already happened for you. The divine feminine is, you're standing in the rubble of your old emotional architecture. So you've had some kind of breakthrough, divine feminine, on the twin flame path. So you're realizing, oh, I was avoiding that tower for so long, right? This collapse. I was avoiding the heartbreak and the feeling, but look at me. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still here. It did not destroy me, right? Those emotions did not destroy me. Put that in your toolkit, right? When the emotional ego comes up again, it's like, no, I went through something. I went through something really hard, but here I am. So this is the ego, right? The emotional ego dismantling here a little bit. So this is your old emotional self has died or is in the process of dying and realizing, right, it didn't destroy me, it freed me. That's the awareness when you do the emotional integration work. The gift and the booty that comes after is that expansion of awareness and the peace and the contentment that comes. It's like before, it's like you feel cluttered, like there's too much furniture inside you, right? And then after, it's like you're throwing the couches out. There's just all this space. There's all this spaciousness inside, and that's the peace. And the Emperor there means the new inner masculine is emerging. You got rid of the old masculine, maybe through a karmic, right? A false twin, right? That you went through, that was controlling and dominating you, manipulating you. And now it's like, I don't need that. I don't need to outsource my masculine, right? I'm letting my inner masculine start to emerge. Definitely on the twin flame. Both twin flames have to get in touch with their divine masculine and divine feminine energies, no matter what form you're born into. Right? Else there's no resonance. There's no resonance there. Right? We're talking about a completely different relationship paradigm. It's not about, opposites attract anymore. That's the old cross of planning. Karmic relationships. Now it's like attracts like. Your essence attracts essence. Your essence attracts your twin's essence and vice versa, right? But it means coming into harmony yourself. So divine feminines, this is good news. Your correct inner masculine is starting to surface from this work that you've done. You've let go of this old construct, right? This goes way back, like even to your father, right? And down your ancestral line. So you're free. So you're not dependent on the external anymore. You're not dependent on the external anymore. You're learning to hold your own inner authority after lifetimes of looking for it in him. Right? You've been looking for that authority in him. See? This is this Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Capricorn, the disappearance of that. So there's the ego looking for it outside of yourself. But the gift is you're here to find it within yourself. Right? You're here to be whole unto yourself. No codependence allowed on the twin flame. No enabling on the twin flame. No rescuing on the twin flame path. Right? Self-sovereignty on the twin flame path. So you no longer need the masculine to lead you. You no longer need the masculine to lead you. You're rebuilding your own world from your own divine order. So you're building an energetic construct within you, just like we live in buildings and houses and things like that. That are built on the physical. You're physically building an energetic construct inside that's healthier, right? That strong foundation so that you can move forward in your life and your soul purpose. Very good gold star for the divine feminines there. So what you're releasing, and then Neptune will continually help with this process too, right? Dissolving these old paradigms of the masculine, right? And the conditioning that you have to outsource your masculine. I need to be led by him, right? You're letting that go. So what you're releasing is the fall of the false union is the 8 of Wands reversed and the 6 of Cups reversed. This is the nostalgia. Oh, it used to be so good. My false union, right? It used to be so good back in the day. You know, we were in love. We did this, we did that. I'm waiting, right? 8 of Wands reverse. I'm waiting for it to go back to what it was. Can't swim the same river twice. That current is taking you somewhere else. So this is the karmic replay loop, the dream of what it used to feel like. And Neptune has slowed the communication. You're not communicating anymore with this false twin, right? It's blocked the momentum. Neptune's blocked this momentum. You're not growing anymore. The current is taking him somewhere, and the current is taking you somewhere else. And is it a punishment? No. It's purification, right? There's no movement so that you can purify. So this reversal is divine delay, a higher timing that ensures love won't repeat the old pattern. So you're being purified of this old pattern through your false twin, your karmic. So this is, for you, it's about releasing the timeline, right? Releasing the timeline. So if this may be applied to your actual twin, just, you know, if you've been waiting, it's like, no more waiting. It's not about waiting now. It's about you aligning with your soul. That's what you're aligning to now. Neptune is helping you with that process, right? Otherwise, you're not done. You're not cleansed, and what will happen? You're not purified of those old paradigms, and then you do get in a relationship, and you're just going to repeat. You'll repeat. So Neptune is like making sure that you don't repeat these old patterns, right? That don't serve you, that are not aligned with the cross of the sleeping phoenix. What's awakening in you? The 7 of Cups. This is the divine feminine is awakening her discernment through confusion. So there's lots of confusion going on with the divine feminine on the twin flame path. There's spiritual bypassing, there's fantasy, telepathy, emotional escapism, all the 7 cups of Neptune's ocean. But you're beginning to feel which one is real. You've been confused. Which one is real, right? You can see all those things. It's like, what is that? I can't see what that is. I can't see it clearly. So you see which one is real. The cup that doesn't promise escape. So you want to pick the cup that's promising embodiment. It's not about escape. It's about embodiment. So you're starting to feel which cup is real and which one isn't. Right? Which cup is all talk? It's all talk. Good talk, maybe really good talk, but no action, no follow through, just looping. You're starting to see that cup. No, I don't want that cup anymore. Right? I've done this cup for 10 years or more. I'm picking this cup over here. This is embodiment, right? This is embodiment. It's real. It's grounded. So your message is, your clarity is born from contrast. And that's a good way. It's like, okay, I learned in this relationship a lot. And one of the things I learned is what I don't want. I don't want this. I don't want to be invisible. I don't want to be silent. I don't want to play a role, right? I don't want to be um, the not self. I want to be myself. So you're learning what you don't want, right? You're learning contrast. Um, so your clarity is born from contrast. So the more illusions that you release, the clearer the truer connection becomes. The clearer the true connection becomes when you let go of the false illusion, these cups that they're not embodied, they're not real. You keep hoping, right? You keep hoping that it will change, but it's not changing. This is the sober looking, it's being emotionally sober. It's like, I'm not going to get caught up in this hopium that things are going to get better, right? They're not. They're looping. And it's finally you see it. It's like, and I'm not choosing this again. I deserve better. I have self-worth. I'm choosing this that's embodied, that's going somewhere, right? That's grounded. Okay. So the more illusions and fantasies you release, the truer the connection becomes. So what is the connection teaching both twins? The mirror lesson. So that's usually happens with twin flame connections. They go through similar experiences in life, right? They're mirrors. They're mirrors. So justice, you can't see justice there. The Two of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So karma is balancing. It's the justice card. The scales are neutral now. Justice is upright. So the Two of Swords shows the quiet space between the decisions, right? Because it's in between. The point where both twins must stop reacting and feel truth directly. Then the Ace of Wands ignites. A new passion now not rooted in polarity, right? But purpose. So that's what draws the twins together, is the polarity, the negative charge and the positive charge. And this is like the karma, everything that they had to learn in separation. And then what comes is the Ace of Wands. So it's not about polarity, it's about soul purpose. That's why they're coming together. So twins are not about romance, running off into the sunset. It's about a soul purpose. They have a shared soul purpose together. And this will get ignited, right? So this is a sacred pause before a new cycle of union begins. So when both surrender, so both twins surrender, divine will strikes like lightning, right? And a new beginning burns clean. So both have to surrender their judgment and their projection on what this is going to look like. It's total surrender, Neptune. Guidance from the divine is the Six of Wands, the King of Swords reversed, and the Chariot. So the path forward is victory, but through humility. This is true surrender, is humility. It's humbling the ego before the divine. That's true humility. So the King of Swords reversed dissolves intellectual dominance here. So this is like needing to be right, manipulating the other through the mind and their words, and also the need to be understood, right? So letting that all of that go. This is old energy. Only then can the Chariot move. So the two energies finally align in direction, not in control. So victory is not dominance, right? It's coherence. And when head and heart face the same way, love leads. So it's letting go of that power imbalance, right? There. Because the King of Swords reverse can be quite nasty. So false authority is collapsing, sacred alignment begins, the tower fell so the emperor, the true emperor could rise, and the waiting ended so the discernment could begin, and the chariot moves now. It's the last card. Look at that. Moves now. Not by willpower, not by personal willpower, but by two hearts that finally trust the current. So both twins have to trust this current, right? And surrender to the current. Okay. So just a reminder, November 21st to the 23rd, Solar Plexus Mutation online retreat. To have the experience. So you're prepared for 2026 when Neptune and Saturn are conjunct in 0 degrees Aries, and that's a reset, big reset. So embracing the Phoenix energy, right, for this new era. Okay. So thank you, everybody, if you've made it to the end here. And I will see you in the next video, which will probably be sooner than Friday or Saturday. For some reason, the energy was just not correct. And I have readings, and when I have readings, they really wipe me out when I do readings because I really merge with the field of that person. And yeah, and usually I have to rest, and I'm not, I'm going to take that into account next time I schedule my readings. So, but anyway, you can follow, and I do readings, I never talk about them, but if you can get on my website, I do one-on-one readings. Telegram, you can follow me daily, Instagram, and the YouTube community too. And I post daily, sometimes funny stuff, and sometimes transits. I've been posting a lot about transits. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay. So nam aloha, everybody. Take good care.